In this video, we're going to discuss how to multiply binomials using two different methods. Before doing that though, let's go ahead and just talk about some binomials and trinomials. So if we have 2x squared plus 4x. This is called a binomial because they're a binomial because there are two terms. Every binomial has two terms. If we have 3x squared plus 5x minus 7, this is called a trinomial because we have three terms. So 3x squared is your first term, 5x is also a term, and then -7 is our third term. So this is called a trinomial. So if we have the polynomial 3x squared minus 5x plus 7, what is this called? A binomial or trinomial? Yes, it's a trinomial. We have three terms. 3x squared is one term, -5x is another term, and +7 is the third term. Within this trinomial, we want to identify the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient is going to be the number in front of the highest degree or the highest exponent. So in this case we have an exponent of 2, we have an exponent of 1, and we do not have a variable with this 7. So we have an exponent of 1 and 2. The higher exponent is 2, so the leading coefficient is going to be the number in front of that x, which is 3. So the leading coefficient is 3. Our constant is going to be the number that does not have a variable attached to it. So in this example, this term 1, 3x squared, has the variable x. This term, -5x, has the variable x, but this term, +7, does not have a variable. So 7 is going to be our constant. In this example, we have 5x plus 8x squared plus 3. See if you can identify what is the leading coefficient and the constant. I'll give you about 10 seconds. Alright, so remember, for the leading coefficient, we have to compare all the exponents above the variables. So if we look at all the exponents above the variables, we have the exponent of 2 and we have the exponent of, remember, if there is no exponent, it's an invisible 1. Now, which one's bigger, 2 or 1? 2 is bigger, so it's going to be the number in front of the the x, which is the leading coefficient. So our leading coefficient in this one, make sure you don't forget to put the operation, which is a plus. So plus 8 is going to be our leading coefficient. And then our constant out of all the terms is going to be the term that does not have a variable attached. So 5x has a variable. The second term, 8x squared, has a variable, but this 3 does not have a variable, it has no x. So our constant is going to be 3. Now we're going to go over how to multiply two binomials using two different methods. So the first method we're going to do with the top two binomials. What we're going to do, we're going to multiply the first term in each set of parentheses. So it's going to be x times x. And then we're going to multiply the two outer terms. So it's going to be x times 2. And then we're going to multiply the terms on the inside. Negative 5 times x. And then we're going to multiply the second term in each set of parentheses. Negative 5 times 2. Okay, x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Right now we have 4 terms. We want to get it to be a trinomial because we have these two middle terms that are the same. Because they both have an exponent of 1. They both have exponent of 1 above the x. If we combine those two, we have positive 2x and negative 5x. So if you have 2 positives and 5 negatives, you have how many more negatives? 3 more negatives. So this is going to be x squared minus 3x minus 10. So when you multiply the two binomials, you get an expanded trinomial. And in this one, our constant is negative 10. And our leading coefficient, we'll just abbreviate it as L for leading and coefficient for C, LC, is 1. Our constant is negative 10 here, and our leading coefficient is the number in front of the x squared, which is going to be 1. So this method is called FOIL because we have the first terms, the outer terms, the inner terms, and then the last terms. It's called FOIL. The second way that you have to know is the box method. So for this one, we create the amount of squares as there are terms. So for this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we want to create a box that has 4 squares. And we're going to put each one of those terms on the side of the box. So the x will go here, -5. So that set of the terms in that parentheses will go on the side, and then the terms in the other parentheses will go on the top. So now it's similar to what we did before. So we're going to multiply the blue x times the red x. So x times x is x squared. And then we're going to multiply the blue x times the yellow 2, which gives us 2x. And then the red x times the green -5 is -5x. And the green -5 times the yellow 2, which gives us -10. So you could see that the diagonals are the like terms, 2x and -5x. If you combine those two x's, you get x squared minus 3x minus 10. So you could see that these two are the same, no matter if you use the box method, which is the method that we just did, or if you use the FOIL method. For these 10 practice problems that I want you to do for homework, that's going to be on the assignment on Google Classroom. I want you to multiply these two binomials using both methods that you guys learned in this video. I'm going to do number 1 for you guys, with you guys, and then I'm going to have you guys do 2 through 10 on your own. I'm going to put it in different colors so you guys are able to follow along a little bit easier. So we have 2x and +2, and then 4x and +3. So we're going to multiply the first terms together, 2x and times the 4x. The outer terms together, we're going to multiply the 2x times 3. Then we're going to multiply the inner terms together, 2 times the 4x. And then the last terms, 2 times the 3. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. 2 times 4x is 8x. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 8x squared. We're going to combine these two, 6x and 8x, which gives us 14x. And then we have the +6. Using the box method, so that's the first method. We have 4 terms, so we're going to create 4 different boxes. We have 2x and +2, and 4x and +3. We get 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 3 times 2x is 6x. 4x times 2 is 8x. and 3 times 2 is 6. The two terms that we have that are like terms are 8x and 6x. So we're going to write 8x squared, 8x plus 6x is 14x, and then the last box is the 6. So no matter what method you get the same trinomial, which is 8x squared plus 14x plus 6. Remember, you need to know how to identify the leading coefficient and the constant. So the leading coefficient is 8 and the constant is positive 6.